It's not about motivation. Winners need discipline. Wake up and win today. Discipline comes from within.
Boxing King Media in association with Boxro. Dev, Sahni, we're at the Bermondsey Boxing Club in London. Media workout. Interesting show. You know, fans have been complaining, saying we're not going to get big shows in the UK anymore. Everything's going to Saudi, but Frank Warren brings us a really good event.
It's a good way to start the year, isn't it? Hamzah Sheeraz, one of the golden boys of the Queensberry stable, one of Frank's favourites. And why wouldn't he be? He's 18-0, 14 knockouts, looks the part. Middleweight, that division is crying out for someone to come and get a hold of it. Hamzah Sheeraz seems to tick every box, and at the moment his fights don't tend to go more than a couple of rounds. But it's a very, very challenging fight in Liam Williams, because if it's Liam Williams from before, if it's that guy that used to box on Queensberry shows and knock everyone out, it's a hell of a test for Hamzah Sheeraz. So it's a fascinating fight to start the year for Queensberry. Very much looking forward to it.
That's something he said there I picked up on. A Frank Warren favourite. How do you become a Frank Warren favourite? Because you know Eddie's got favourites. How do you become the promoter's favourite?
I say that as a kind of throwaway comment. I just know, obviously, he supports Arsenal, and obviously Frank's going to like him. Frank likes all of his fighters, but if you're Hamzah Sheeraz and you support Arsenal and you keep doing the right things and the way he conducts himself, carries himself so well, inevitably he's going to become a favourite.
This is... It's a similar sort of fight to what Masood Abdullah's got on the undercard. You know, when you get a certain fight where you're fighting a recognised name, where people can kind of judge you on. Do you think this is that moment for him? Because if he blasts Liam Williams away in a few rounds, people are going to take notice. Would you agree?
That's why you fight Liam Williams. If you're Hamzah Sheeraz and you're backing yourself to win the fight, you look at Liam Williams, you say, okay, he's been the distance with Chris Eubank Jr. He's been the distance with Demetrius Andrade. He's never been stopped, apart from Liam Smith on a cut, so he's never been sort of properly stopped. He's a name that people know. He's a name that people have seen knock people out. So you claim that scalp. If you do it in style, it's a big, big statement, not just to the UK, but to the world, because people know him from the Andrade fight, from the Eubank fight. So that's where there's big opportunity there for Hamzah. He's well ranked with the WBC. He's got that silver title as well. And as I mentioned, you know, there's not enough hype actually in the middleweight division right now. Not enough hype in the middleweight division right now. But look, this guy may be taking things to another level. We've also got Nathan Heaney, don't forget. So maybe that's a big fight down the line.
It definitely is. You know, it's worth mentioning that Liam Williams, his 4 losses have only come at top level. Other than that, he's pretty much blasted everybody out. He's 31 years old. There's nothing to suggest that Liam Williams is towards the end of his career. If anything, he could be reaching his peak now with all the experience he's got. So, and he's a big puncher. So this is a proper test. And I hope fans don't, you know, whoever wins, because let's say if Liam Williams wins, people will say, oh, Hamzah was overrated. If Hamzah wins easily, they'll say, oh, Liam Williams was done.
Listen, that's just boxing. And that's just boxing fans. Every win, actually, that anyone's ever had tends to get discredited. Even people go through like Mike Tyson's career. Oh, who did he actually beat though? And, oh, but this guy was this age. This guy was this. He'd lost to this guy. You can't really win if you're a fighter. You've got to block out all of that. Hamzah Sheeraz, most important thing for him is to win, come away with the win, keep hold of that WBC silver belt, continue his charge towards a world title, and continue growing his fan base. He does that with an emphatic performance against Liam Williams. If you're Liam Williams, get back everything that you once had. He was once the kind of like the middleweight rampaging through in this country from the Queensberry stable, had the WBC silver title. He was the young boxer of the year, just the same way Hamzah Sheeraz has been the young boxer of the year. Everything that Hamzah's got, Liam Williams had. Liam Williams wants it all back, so let's see if he can get it.
You know, the other fight I'm really excited about on the card is watching Masood Abdullah. I feel like he's kind of come through. It's another one of these fights that Frank's kind of built really well, but just the right fights at the right time. And I feel like now this is his opportunity to kind of show how good he is. And do you think he'll do that?
Look, he's got Warren Boxing Management who have been banging the drum for him for quite some time now. Every time there's a featherweight or a super bantamweight, anyone around those weights in action, I will have Bobby Warren, Alfie Warren, Robert Warren, all the Warrens, Sonny Warren, on my case, sort of going like, Masood will beat him, Masood will beat him, Masood will beat him. And then what's happened is Masood starting beating guys like Mark Leach. Big statement dealing with Mark Leach the way he did it. Congratulations to him. That was a bit of a breakout performance. He's got that Commonwealth silver title. Kes Ashfaq, on paper, has been to a level that Masood's never been to. Olympian, Team GB. But maybe Masood's going to get him at the right time. We don't know. But he feels like he's got a lot left, Kes Ashfaq. He's sort of rejuvenated. He's up with Lee Eaton now, seems to be getting a bit of backing. So it's a very, very intriguing fight. But if Masood Abdullah, over the space of a couple of fights, gets Mark Leach and Ashfaq on his record, he's a real force at featherweight.
Especially if he stops him as well, because that's a huge statement.
There you go. He hasn't been stopped, and he's been in with some good fighters. Fighters have beaten him, but no one's blasted him out or done anything like that. And Masood seems to carry a lot of power. And yeah, I think he's due another breakout performance, and there's some big fights for him. He's in and amongst it right now. I like Nathaniel Collins' fight down the line. That could be fantastic as well. So, big chance, big statement, big division to do it in. Let's see if he can do it.
Anthony Yarde, we'll quickly touch on Anthony. I've been watching the online response to his opponent getting named. Like always, the common consensus amongst fans is they're saying he steps up, he'll fight the elite fighters or the guys at the top. But if he loses or whatever happens, he comes too many levels down. Obviously, I'm going to ask him this when I speak to him and Tunde, but what do you make of that?
I think whatever route that he has taken to where he is right now has been correct. And the reason you can say that is, right now, he sits financially in a comfortable position. He sits as the number one light heavyweight in the country. He sits with the respect of the British boxing fans because of how he performed in his world title fights. The Beterbiev fight now looks even better, how he performed in that because of the Callum Smith-Beterbiev fight. And yeah, look, every fighter gets criticised and different levels of opponents and whatnot, but everything they're doing works. So I trust how Anthony Yarde's career has been handled. I'm sure there's some more massive fights ahead for him. There's some obvious fights, and hopefully we see them.
Do you think we will see Callum Smith versus Anthony Yarde? Because Callum's come out and said he likes that fight.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. It feels like Anthony Yarde would fight him. I mean, Anthony Yarde will fight anyone. He's proved that, so it won't be Anthony Yarde's turned him down kind of thing. But there's fights out there. Callum Smith, the Boatsi Aziz winner. I'm sure he's got an eye on that as well. So Anthony Yarde against anyone is a big fight right now. And would I love to see those fights with those names mentioned? Absolutely.
Last thing I want to touch on, it's kind of old news now, but I want to get your opinion. We saw Tyson Fury recently, this big rumours was spreading around saying that he's got dropped in sparring by Jay Abataya. Abataya's team came out and said it was a false rumour. What do you make of all that, and do you think that could disrupt him and his camp?
No, I would bet that he hasn't even seen these rumours, these kind of headlines, and that's just the boxing news cycle. I mean, when you've got the actual fighters' camp and other people like Joe Parker who have been in the camp coming out refuting that this has happened, it's just some people want it to have happened. That's it. So they've got something to talk about, basically. But what do I make of it? Not a lot. It's just silly rumours in boxing. What would Tyson Fury make of it? I bet you he doesn't even know that this rumour's out there, and he probably doesn't care.
Fair play. Anything else you want to add before I let you go, Dev?
No, just get a bit of this down, a bit of hype. I mean, the tastiest energy drinks right now on the market. Go and enjoy it. And plenty of hype around Fury Usyk. I can't wait for that. I can't believe it's so close now. February 17th coming up, and there's going to be more and more promos getting out there as well. And I don't think we've seen a fight like this in a long time, where you've just got two unbeaten fighters at the top of their game, two wizards, two geniuses, 50 pounds separating them. Let's see. I can't wait for that first bell.
Literally can't wait. Dev, speak soon. Thank you.
Fear. Most people are governed by their habits, their fears, and their opinions of others.